Hello everyone, I am Ma'am Shilamesi Boyko and I will discuss to you the chapter 1. So we have here a big question, paano ba isisulat yung chapter 1, ma'am? So of course, as much as I can do, I will explain to you as simple as 1, 2, 3 on how to write chapter 1. But first, let's have the format of your research paper. So remember class, for your research paper, dapat gagamitin ninyo ay short bond paper. The font should be in Arial or Times New Roman. Yung size niya is 12. The spacing of the letters is double space. And the margin for each side is 1 inch. So remember the following format in writing or encoding your research. So please bear with me if you can hear some external noise. And of course, for the example that I will giving to you for each part of chapter 1, I just used the screenshot. So I'm sorry ahead of time, class, if some of the examples are not really that clear. So please bear with me. So let's start with the components of chapter 1. So we only have 5 components for chapter 1. We have the introduction, the background of the study, the statement of the problem, the scope and delimitation of the study, and the significance of the study. For each components, I will give you an example. And of course, since some of the examples are not really that clear, then you can use your Google to search for some more examples. Let's start with the introduction. Well, for the introduction class, so you have to remember these 3 things. We have the scope, the context, and the importance. Now, for the introduction, tandaan ninyo kung ano ba yung topic na i-cover ninyo. So, that is the scope. The context, that means the background of your topic. And for the introduction, you also have to discuss bakit important yung research ninyo. Why your research matters in the context of the industry or the world. Now, introduction is very vital for your research papers class because we have to assume that your readers don't know what your research is all about. So, dito papasok si introduction. So, paano ba natin malalaman if we have the good introduction? Of course, it will help your reader understand your topic's background. It will explain why your research paper is worth reading. Through your introduction, it will offer a guide for navigating the rest of the piece, and it will catch your reader's interest. If you have all those 4 class, then we can say that you have a good introduction. Now we have here an example of an introduction. So the title of this research is Open Educational Mobile Application Development and Implementation for Teacher or Teaching English-Based Course. So here is the introduction. Remember class, in writing your introduction as much as possible, I'm saying this one, it should cover the whole page. So when we say it will cover the whole page, then you can have it in 3 to 4 paragraphs to cover the entire page in writing your introduction. Of course, you can use or you can point some related literature for connecting that literature to your research. You could also have some quotation. Yes, you can cite that as long as you also give credits to the author of those literature. So that is how you're going to write the introduction. Next, let's have the second part of your chapter 1. It's the background of the study. So you have to follow the 7 steps in writing the background of your study. Step 1, describe the field that you will research. Step 2, tell us why this field is important. Step 3, describe the current and relevant hot topics in the field. Step 4, describe the specific area you will be researching in the field. Step 5, tell us how your research will add to the field, why it is important. Step 6, describe your research as answer to research questions you have been assigned to research. And step 7, summarize the current research based on your specific area of interest and highlight any gaps in the research that you will plan to address with your research. So 7 steps to follow in doing this background of the study. So here is the example of the background of the study. So medyo mahaba nga ito actually. But for the background of the study, you can have it in 1 to 2 paragraph. Okay? Still, I am saying this one to you that you can search to the internet or maybe to your ate or kuya for the example of the background of the study. Next, let's have the third part. It's the statement of the problem. For the statement of the problem, class, it is only composed of 2 statements. We have the general statement, so that includes the purpose statement, and the specific sub-problems or sub-questions. So basically, in the second part, you are going to present your research question. So I will give you an example. This study aims to determine the practices and challenges of the technicians in repairing appliances. Specifically, it answers to answer the following question. So itong binasa ko, class, this is the general statement. So dito pa lang sa general statement, you can already identify what is the research all about. So the research is all about the practices and challenges of the technicians in repairing appliances. So for the second part of the statement problem or the statement of the problem, that is now your research question. So meron lang siyang tatlong research question. Number 1 research question is, what are the strategies of the technicians in repairing appliances? What do technicians do before repairing the appliances? And what are the challenges encountered by the technicians in repairing the appliances? So itong tatlong ito, class, itong tatlong research question na ito is magka-cover na ito or mag-answer na ito sa research title na meron dito sa taas. So remember, practices and challenges of the technician. So for the practices of the technician, yan is for research number 2, before repairing the appliances. Tapos, ayan din siya. Practices niya, ano ba yung mga ginagawa niya before siya nagre-repair ng appliances. Now, for the number 3, it will answer the challenges of the technician repairing the appliances. Kasi tinanong niya dito yung challenges encountered by the technician. So remember ha, dapat yung research question niyo is related sa research title ninyo. Next, let's have the scope and the delimitation. The scope of the study, that is the coverage of the research to be explored, which includes the facts and the theories about the subject. The limitation of the study, it limits the scope and outlines the boundaries of the study. Scope, the coverage. Delimitation, the limitation. Okay, this is the example. This study focuses on the challenges and experience of selected grade 11 students on online learning modality. So dito pa lang nakikita nyo na yung kanyang research title is all about the challenges and experiences on online learning modality. Nakita mo na agad dito yung delimitation niya. So, online learning modality lang. Hindi kasama yung face-to-face, hindi kasama yung printed modality. Only online learning modality. Sino yung target niya sa kanyang research? It's the grade 11 students of what school? The Tupi National High School. And meron pang specification for the address. Sila yung mga estudyante na nakatira sa Barangay Lunen, Tupi, South Cotabato. And of course, you have to limit the years. So it's only school year 2020 to 2021. 2021. And the last part of your chapter 1 is the significance of the study. So of course, this part will discuss the purpose that the research will serve to the society, to the country, to the government, to the institution, to the agency concerned, to the curriculum planners and developers, and to the research community. It describes the contribution of the study to the existing body of knowledge. I will give you an example. The title of the research is The Effects of Computer-Assisted Instruction in the Performance of Students in the Asian History. So that is the title. Now let's have this short introduction. The findings of the study may provide deeper insights on how teaching can be made easier and more meaningful by the use of computer-assisted instruction. The study will determine the significant effect of slide presentation on instruction. A form of computer instruction on the performance of the students to the subject Asian history and civilization. So, gaano daw ka-importante yung study niya? So, dito, yung researcher, nag-identify lang siya ng 3 para maipakita kung gaano ka-importante yung study niya sa 3 mga taong ito or 3 grupong ito. Number 1 is for the students daw. Importante yung study niya sa students. So, of course, since na-identify niya na students will benefit for this study, explain mo din kung gaano ka-importante yung study na ito sa students. Second is to the administrators, and the third one is for the teacher. So, this is just an example. Your significance of the study will depend kung kanino ba talaga mas magagamit yung research ninyo. Okay? So, kasi ito is more on the students. Kaya, students, administrators, and teachers lang yung na-identify niya. Okay? So, remember class ha, the format of your research. And of course, for each part of the chapter 1, you have to include short introduction, like for the background of the study, for the statement of the problem, for the scope and delimitation, and the significance of the study. So that ends my discussion for the parts of chapter 1. So if you have a question, don't hesitate to PM me or to ask me. So see you again for chapter 2. Hopefully that I will upload it to you after a few days. See you after a while, class. Goodbye and God bless.